All right, let's talk about something every Salesforce pro's used, or at least thought about using. Custom settings. Yeah, they seem like this magic bullet, right? But they come with this hidden checklist, these little traps you really need to know about before you dive in. So, let's break it down.
You know the feeling, right? You're deep in the zone, building this amazing new feature, and then, bam, you hit a SQL query limit. Ugh. Suddenly, your beautiful code is just bogged down, performance is tanking, and you're pulling your hair out. It's got to be one of the biggest headaches for any of us working in Salesforce.
And just when you're about to give up, in ride custom settings. They're like the superhero of your org, promising to cache all your data, cut down those SOQL queries, and make everything lightning fast. Sounds perfect, right? But are they really the hero we think they are? Well, let's just say it's a little more complicated than that.
Okay, so let's jump right into the first big problem area. I call this the data and storage trap. And believe me, this is where that shiny promise of custom settings starts to look a little, well, less shiny. So before we get into the weeds, let's just make sure we're on the same page about a super common process: data migration. You know, just the basic act of moving your stuff from a sandbox where you build it over to production where it goes live.
So, think about a typical deployment. You're pushing your code, your Apex classes, your permissions, everything's looking good. But wait a minute, look at that list. What's missing? The actual data inside your custom setting. It just gets left behind. That X you see there, that's not just a checkbox you forgot to tick. That's a broken feature just waiting to blow up in production.
And that's the key takeaway here. Your data does not travel with your code. It's a totally separate thing. You have to remember to manually export it, then manually import it into the new environment. It's another step, another thing to remember, and you know what that means. It's a perfect opportunity for human error to sneak in and cause some serious problems.
Okay, so it's not just about getting the data there. It's also about storing it. The cache limit for custom settings is kind of tricky. Salesforce looks at two numbers: a flat 10 megabytes or 1 megabyte for every full user license you have. And here's the kicker: your org gets the smaller of those two values. So if you've only got, say, 5 users, you're looking at a tiny amount of cache. It can run out way faster than you'd think.
All right, moving on to Section 2. Here we're going to talk about the structural and scale limits. Basically what happens when your org starts to grow and your needs get more complex.
And this is a big one, folks. Way back in the Spring 18 release, Salesforce pulled the plug on creating new list custom settings. That was a huge signal from them about where the platform was heading.
Now, let's be super clear. If you've got old list custom settings floating around in your org, don't panic. They're not going to break. They'll keep working just fine. But you can't make any new ones. And I think we can all agree, building a brand new solution on top of a technology that's been officially retired, yeah, that's just not a good idea. It's a dead end.
And then there's this number, 300. That's it. That is the absolute maximum number of fields you can create on a single custom setting. Period. So if you have some really complex configuration data that needs more than 300 different attributes, you've already hit a brick wall. Game over for custom settings.
Okay, for our third and final section, we're diving into what I like to call the access blind spot. This is all about a really important question. Who can actually see and use this data? And trust me, this is a huge deal for both security and just general usability. Just look at this comparison. It really tells you everything you need to know. When you use a custom object, you have all this amazing granular control. You can set up record-level sharing, you can give people a nice tab in the UI to work with it, all that good stuff. And with a custom setting, nope, none of that is possible. It's just on, for everyone, all the time.
And if you don't believe me, this quote pretty much nails it. There's just no such thing as sharing for custom settings. It is a true all-or-nothing situation. If a user has the permission to see custom settings, they can see all the data in all of them. You can't hide specific rows or records. It's a total visibility free-for-all.
Okay, so we've walked through all the big pitfalls. Now let's wrap this up and turn all this information into something practical you can actually use.
And here it is, your new best friend, the custom setting checklist. Seriously, before you type C on another custom setting, just quickly run through these questions. If you find yourself nodding yes to needing more fields, or needing to control who sees what, or wanting a proper user interface, well, that's your cue. It's time to hit pause and think about a different path.
And that really brings us to the bottom line, the big question you have to ask yourself. After looking at this checklist, what kind of data are you really dealing with? Is it simple, global stuff that's the same for everyone, a perfect fit for a custom setting, or is it actually more complex, doesn't need the power, the flexibility, and the security of a full-blown custom object. Because the answer to that question, that choice, it's going to affect your org for a long, long time.